Hi everyone, welcome to Southern Paraquest. It's me, Adam, back for the weekly vlog on a Thursday. I can only apologise. I know I said last week I'm aiming to get them back earlier. I've had some busy days again with work. I eventually got around to see my old housemate Dave the first time this year, and it's October. Dave, I do apologise. Hopefully that is not going to be the first and last time. So Dave, if you're watching, we'll catch up again very, very soon. It's just been another crazy week. And the other thing with the evenings drawing in as well, I lose the light from when I can do these kind of vlogs when I'm in the car, which is where I spend most of my time, it seems, whether it's in my own car or whether it's the one I drive for my daily job. For those of you unaware of what my daily job entails, I actually work for a charity within South Essex, which provides transport for people that's over 60 and people that struggle to use public transport. So if you're under 60 but in a wheelchair, or for whatever reason buses, trains, etc. are too much for you, then we provide transport for them as well. That's what I do. So I spend a lot of time driving. Particularly this week, I took someone to a hospital in London, just around the corner from Harley Street, and that took a lovely 2.5 hours to get back. Just to put into context, it took me half that time to get them there. And the time that I brought them back wasn't even in rush hour. It was just mental. Last week, I took someone to Brentford. The return journey for that was 3.5 hours. I now decided I hate the North Circular with a passion. There's one bright spot on the North Circular, and that's the Ace Caff. That's it. I cannot stand that thing. But anyway, I digress. So, getting a chance to do this when I've got reasonable light, such as I have at the moment, so you can see my beautiful face. Thanks for that. That's the stop's just started. That's kind of where I'm at. Now, first and foremost, just to remind you, the next live stream is Monday, and usual time about 8:30. This is Ask a Medium. This is our third Monday of the month, I think. Was it the fourth? Whatever it is, that we're doing an Ask a Medium on Monday, 8:30. Join the crew. So that's Gloria, Karen as well, Paul, Rudy and myself, where we can join in with the banter, chat things spiritual, paranormal. If you want a reading, again, fire away. Hopefully the fart machine will join in. Those of you who've been watching the channel will know what I'm on about. A spiritual fart machine. Oh, of all the things. Anyway, so yeah, Monday we've got our live stream again. Don't miss that. And then obviously the round table where we pick a subject and discuss that. That will be on the first Wednesday of November. And I'll remind you guys on Monday and on the next vlog as well what the round table subjects will be. So that's that. What have I been up to? Now again, I've been a busy boy. As you know, the boats or the boating thing has been very much taken over for the last few months, because it's been quite a whirlwind getting a boat, getting on it and all the rest of it. So now I'm getting some jobs done. At the moment, I did get the bit between my teeth this weekend just gone, and I'm now almost ready to get my multifunction diner area set up so that I can now use it for like a small office where I can edit my videos from. Because at the moment, although yes, my computer is set up, it's far from ideal on using it. It's not exactly where you sit in front of a desk with a chair and all the rest of it. It's not comfortable to sit there and try and type and and do all the usual computer stuff. So by setting up an area where I can do that, I can then hopefully get on and get me editing. But that's not far off. Hopefully I'll be able to show the finished products within the next week, so you can see what I'm on about and see what I've done. All I can say is it's making thinking outside of the boxes in terms of using the space available, which if you ever want to get a boat or even, you know, a motorhome, which some people do the van life thing, you'll know what I'm on about. So yeah, that's very much in the offing. I've also got another boat coming. It's a 13-foot Avon rib. I've currently got that will be my permanent tender. I've currently got a 13-foot Avon sib, which, now the difference between a sib and a rib, if you don't already know, a sib is a soft inflatable boat, a rib is a rigid inflatable boat, and basically that's just describing the hull. In a rigid inflatable boat, it's generally made of fiberglass, so it's solid, and you'll have an inflatable sides. With a soft inflatable boat, the hull is soft with inflatable sides. I've got a solid wood floor pan, floor for my current sib, and there's an inflatable keel. It does a pretty good job, but it isn't the same as having a proper solid hull. So that's going to be coming this weekend, hopefully, and I've then got to work out swapping them over, because I've got to bring one in, take the motor off it, drop it onto the new one, and then drive that round to my boat, and hopefully it'll be good. And then the next thing to do is sort the davits out on my boat, which is the 2 winch things, so it can all tie up, and it's, yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, that's been something else been sorting out this week. And that just leaves the subject of Billie Jasper. Now, I think I was going to talk about this last week, but with the vlog ended up being as late as it was, and what happened the previous night, that kind of took precedence. And we are, first and foremost, a paranormal channel, so it was only right that I discussed what happened, what happened in my pub last Thursday. It was quite funny, and it was annoying. I suppose to the uninitiated, who go, oh, bloody hell, you know, that's spooky. I know it's spooky. I know the pub. I just found it bloody annoying. But anyway, I was going to talk about Billie. Now, and the reason why I wanted to talk about Billie Jasper is that I've seen a few comments coming up on the channel, on the different videos that I've done, and I kind of want to address things. It's stuff I've already said, really. Excuse me. But I just want to sort of summarise, as it were, I suppose. Now, unfortunately, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. And the thing with the Rettendon murders, as you know, as I've discovered, and a lot of us that have done stuff with this subject, you could tell people that the grass is green and they will argue the toss with you. All right. I've done stuff off my own back. I've followed the descriptions given by Billie, you know, and made educated guesses on bits and pieces on there. But at the end of the day, you know, I've done that off of my own back and followed it as well as I could. And, you know, I can only put it out there to you and give you my opinion based on what I've personally covered. Now, first of all, with the route of Billie Jasper, I didn't go all the way to Canning Town at the time, for a couple of reasons which I think I pointed out. I had neither the time or the money to go to Canning Town, or the fuel really as well, because I don't think I was doing my DJ work then. I was still just running off my daytime job, so it was kind of limited what I could do. So I started from Palm Hotel, where he picked up Mr. D, and I followed that route all the way through to its conclusion down Rectory Lane in Southwood and Ferrers. Now, a couple of I think I've had one interesting comment saying, oh, we'd been down there before to do a drug deal. Why there? Why not around Workhouse Lane or wherever? Why is that specific? There's so many places. If you're going to do a drug deal around that area, there's so many different hidey holes. So why there? Why does that happen to be the field opposite where the shootings occurred? All right, it just seems too much of a coincidence to me. Now, I can say, and I believe I did then, that as far as I'm concerned, the route that he described from the Fair Glen interchange, we should call it, which is the A130, A127 roundabout junction bit. I'm going to go from there for argument's sake, because that was the point that I felt, you know, what he described on his route to Rectory Lane was accurate. Again, I will remind people, I did 2 years of an apprenticeship in Rawworth, at a garage there, which is only down the road from where this occurred. But bear in mind, a couple of years later. But what I'm saying is, I'm familiar with the area. When we took cars for test drives and went to pick parts up and things like that, we'd quite often go around that area. So I knew, you know, the nurseries, whatever, the car lots, whatever was of note of the landscape that was there. That area has barely changed in the last 3 decades. It really hasn't. So what the landmarks that he described was accurate. Okay. Secondly, that lane, Rectory Lane. Now, as I said, I know the area quite well, but when I went down there myself, I did have to physically look for it, and I think I nearly went. If I didn't go past it once, I possibly very nearly did. So again, you'd have to know where that lane is. It's not the easiest thing in the world to spot. Okay, so he's described the route to the lane accurately. He's then gone down the lane. Now, I can accept things have been built down that lane since 1995. All right, we're talking nearly 3 decades ago now. So it's more than likely things have been built down there since that happened. Even the house at the end of the road, I think, whilst the brickwork and the gate or the gate look like they've been there for quite some time, you know, there might be something slightly different there. The thing of interest for me down that point, again, people say, oh, you're wrong, whatever. Okay, all right, I can accept it. They may have stopped back earlier, because there is another point where there's a couple of gates. Now, whilst the terrain looked somewhat more difficult to traverse now, it may well not have been 30 years ago. But for the sake of argument, I'm going to describe the bit that I went to. Again, you can go back to the video and see it for yourself. When I got down to the bottom of the lane, on the left-hand side, there was a gate to a house or mansion or whatever. It's a bloody great place. Most of them are down there. All right, so you got a gate that side. On this side, there was or is a fence, but there is a large gap between the trees, which would be at least the size of a gate. So 30 years ago, there could well have been a gate there and not a fence. All right, so he could have gone down and said there were 2 gates either side. So that's what he could well have described. All right, I'm going to make an assumption on that. Either way, so he's described the route there accurately. All right, that's the first thing. Secondly, when Mr. D got out of the car, Billy said he was gone for about 30 to 40 minutes. Now, I've covered that route across, or as near as I could, across that field twice. I've done it once during the daytime, so everyone could see the ground and the layout. And I've done it at night, under a full moon, in conditions as similar as it could have been to... I couldn't get the snow. I mean, I'm sorry about that. That's getting the snow is out of my control. But when I did it at night, it was under full moon. I think it was a bit frosty, actually. So that's about as best as we could do. The point is, I was able to easily traverse that ground. Now, I'm pushing middle-aged. I'm somewhat out of shape these days, so I'm overweight. Alright. I managed to get to that lane and back in 40 minutes. Alright. Now, Billy said Mr. D had been gone between 30 and 40 minutes. So even if it was Darren Nichols, I'm prepared to accept it may not have been, although things at least point to Darren being a lot more involved than what he was trying to, than what he was trying to push during his time in remand. But even Nichols could have covered that ground in the same time I did. Now, bear in mind, I'm going across the ground, I'm talking to the camera, I'm talking to you lot, so I'm going to be a bit slower in any respect. And the other thing is, that route across the field, again, I've already pointed this out in the videos. When this was carried out in 1995, there was only 2 lakes. Okay, there wasn't a third lake. That third lake that's now there is in between the most direct route between Mr. D getting dropped off and Workhouse Lane. All right, I had to traverse that lake. That lake wasn't there, so it's more than likely to have been easily covered. All right, so Billy saying, "Oh, he's gone 30-40 minutes," that would have been accurate. Okay, and as I said, I've done it twice. Another thing is that roughly the time that Billy was there, Mr. D had gone, you've got the resident. Sorry, I can't remember the name of the guy off the top of my head. I don't have access to my notes, and I haven't had time to go back over videos to find him. But you all know what I'm talking about. There was a resident. He went to tend to a newborn foal, midnight, early hour, and I think he was going to feed it or whatever he was doing. But he heard at that time what he said, a fusillade of gunshots going off, shotgun, right? A fusillade being many shots. Now there was 8 shots, I think, fired that night, 7, whatever. That was what was fired off. So we've got a resident corroborating the shots going off. Billie Jasper dropping this guy off at roughly the time that those shots had gone off. That's not to say those were the shots that done the murder or murders. They could have been fired to put people off the timeline. I don't know, but the point is, he's the time that Billy has said he's dropped this guy off, and the time it's taken him to go off the field, a totally separate witness corroborated the shots going off about the time that Mr. D was gone. So you've got that. Now there is another thing. Mr. Billy is actually what I've been told is a quality informant, or was. I don't know if he still is. I don't know what he's doing now. I mean, he's along with a lot of people involved. They've kept their heads down for obvious reason. They want to, for whatever reasons. But I got told by an expert, what we call an expert witness on another YouTube channel, that he is a quality informant. So, we've got all these things. One other thing, I just got an email just before I've done this from Colin. So Colin, if you're watching, hello mate. I've literally just read what you said. Yeah, interesting premise that. Now the phone call thing, just going slightly off piece, saying there are no more calls after 7 o'clock or whatever. That's what the police tell you. Now we know that the police have a lot more files on this and won't release them. So there could well have been other phone calls made during that evening. And I think when I was there doing the paranormal bit, I think I did ask that, and it was alluded to that further phone calls were made. Not only that, but they were witnessed in other pubs. One being the All Sick Cock, I think, and the Carpenter's Arms. Now, when we went down there that last time, Pat wasn't being forthcoming, but from what Gloria was saying, it was like he wasn't saying anything, but it was how he was acting that suggested that they had come away and gone to these places. So yeah, anyway, but going back to Billie, those are what I will lay out, and I'll stand on what I've covered and said. You know, I don't know whether there's any truth in the rest of the storyline that he gave up until the point that he's heading towards Rettendon or Southwood and Ferrers. Those bits I can corroborate because he's accurately described the route and the landscapes, all right, and the amount of time that Mr. D would have been gone to traverse that field, do the business and come back again. All right, so those bits to me are accurate. And the fact that there was the resident that described hearing a fusillade of gunshots going off roughly the time Billie had dropped this guy off. Make your own minds up, all right? That's my informed opinion based on what I've done. People are going to argue the toss over this. You know, I've kind of stepped away from the Rettendon stuff. I may go back and look at a couple of things next year, dependent on how busy I am, because this year's been crazy, even worse than last year, and I never thought that would happen. You know, there's still some bits that I'd like to do. It's not paranormal related, but I'll just have to see how things lie next year. I can't promise anything. But as far as I'm concerned with Billie, there's no new ground I can go over with Billie. I'll just have to leave out there what I've done and what my own experiences have been. Right, so I've waffled on for nearly 23 minutes now. I'm going to leave that with you, and you can discuss your own thoughts and fears. As I say, Collins, I did think that was quite, what you said was interesting. There is another thing with that. Again, I'm going off piece, but about the white van that was there. But as I say, that's another thing. I think I tried to get information out of Pat when we went down there last time, and nothing was happening, so couldn't really do anything. But and that's tied in with Darren Nichols. But anyway, right, I'm going off piece. So we can go and chat for this forever. I'm gonna leave this here. Leave it at that. God bless the lot of you. Love and light to each and every one of you that watch my channel, and bear with us while we're, you know, in a bit of a flux, especially this year. So again, thanks once again for putting up with us, enjoying our live streams and all our banter. Thanks again. We will see you on Monday for the live stream. Bye bye. See you then.